people hold you small.
It's such an advantage to be underestimated.
Series regular on a Fox sitcom from 2003 is your
sitcom. It's not a sitcom.
Sorry. 1 hour drama.
It was a scripted drama.
Scripted 1 hour drama.
Not at all a soap opera.
Capital D drama.
Capital D drama.
It was nominated for 6 Teen Choice Awards.
I never won. I am the Susan Lucci of the Teen Choice Awards.
I'm sorry.
I'm the Susan Lucci of the Teen Choice Awards.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're that.
Oh, you're just sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you couldn't understand what I meant. No, you're just sorry?
Yeah. Well, for both. The fact that you didn't win, and then also I don't know who Susan Lucci is. I've been putting this off, but it's finally time for me to step up and face the fiercest keyboard warriors on the internet. I'm talking about the male Swifties, the blockchain brotherhood, the Bitcoin bros. They have been coming at me for years, ever since I made a single joke on Patriot Act.
The only thing that should double that quickly is the value of Bitcoin. Just kidding. That was a garbage investment and you're an idiot. Bitcoin is just beanie babies for tech bros.
And to this day, every time the price of Bitcoin pops, some Twitter shitposter dunks on me about it. But nobody hates crypto as much as my next guest, Ben McKenzie. You might know Ben from his acting career, playing Ryan on The OC, or Commissioner Gordon on Gotham. But for the past 4 years, Ben has been going hard in the paint and has been partnering with journalist Jacob Silverman to investigate and document fraud in the crypto market, writing articles, publishing a book, and now releasing a new documentary called Everyone is Lying to You for Money. So I sat down with Ben to talk about how the main use case for crypto is still basically crime.
The next time you see an article about cryptocurrency, exchange the word crypto for money laundering and just see if the article makes sense.
Our fellow celebrities who have endorsed it.
No offense to Matt Damon, but he doesn't know shit about blockchain.
And how the most important load-bearing wall of this, let's call it a pyramid, is now the president of the United States.
If you're putting money into something that Trump is backing because you think you're going to make money out of it, just know that he's a convicted fraudster.
Comment section, brace yourself.
Hurry right away, no delay, stop today. Make your daddy glad to have had such a lad.
Every heterosexual man has a group thread called Du Bois.
Uh-huh.
And during the pandemic, Du Bois thread was popping.
Right.
There was a lot of crypto talk, a lot of BTC, a lot of Ethereum, a lot of cryptocurrency talk. But what I am interested in talking to you about is what got its hooks and fangs into even me during that period of time was this sense of not even necessarily greed, but am I missing out on something?
Totally.
Is there something I don't get?
Yeah.
Money has always been this elusive, weird thing to me. This kind of makes sense. Do I need to look into this? Am I dumb if I don't look into this?
Totally.
What was it titillating within you?
Yeah, it was
beyond boredom.
It was absolutely that aspect. I've always been fascinated by money. I was never good at math, so I was never going to be very good. So I was never going to be an economist. But I love the behavioral side of economics. There's this guy, Robert Shiller, who's a Nobel Prize winning economist who's very much influenced my work. And he talks about these things called naturally occurring Ponzi schemes. And it's basically the price of a speculative asset goes up, way beyond what it could possibly be worth in terms of its utility. And people see that price going up and they're like, oh, it's going up. I should buy in. They buy in, which sends the price up further, and then more people. And then these things can go on for a very, very long time. Yeah. And as I looked at crypto, because crypto doesn't do any of the three things that money's supposed to do, money, medium of exchange, unit of account, store of value, it can't be a medium of exchange because the technology sucks. It can only process 5 to 7 transactions a second. Visa and MasterCard can do 24,000. So it just can't process transactions fast enough. It can't serve as a unit account or store of value because the price goes up and down.
The volatility.
So if it's not money, what is it? It's an investment.
Right.
You put money into it, hope to make money off of it through no work of your own. That's literally an investment, the definition of an investment under American law.
Sitting, hodling.
Hodling, exactly. Yeah. It's called the Howey test, and it's got 4 prongs. It's investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profit to be derived from the efforts of others. And it's super broadly defined because people have had schemes to make money for you since Ponzi schemes are as old as, it's literally 100 years old. Sure. Ponzi, they actually predated Ponzi, but whatever. So when celebrities were out there selling this loosely regulated financial product with no understanding, no offense to Matt Damon, but he doesn't know shit about blockchain.
History is filled with almosts, with those who almost adventured, who almost achieved, but ultimately, for them it proved to be too much.
But you were watching the commercial. We got to play the footage.
But ultimately, For them, it proved to be too much. Fortune favors the brave.
I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck does Matt Damon know about cryptocurrency? Nothing!
Are you mad at him for this, or because he's more famous than you are? He might be taller, too.
He's not taller than me. All right, so it says he's 5'10", but
Not sure.
I also say I'm 5'10".
You've called celebrities shilling Bitcoin a, quote, moral disaster, but you've been to Hollywood. You're looking for salvation and morality at Deadline.com.
I'm sorry, I should have implied
You feel IMDb.com will be your salvation.
It's just that I know the standards are low, but like if you're hawking a financial product, and by the way, you're not disclosing how much you've been paid for it, which is one of the problems, right? And then people lose money on that investment, which a lot of people on a lot of different celeb-backed things. Like Kim Kardashian did one and had to settle with the SEC, and there's all these different people. Like, it's just wrong. You know, it's wrong. It's gross. You also have a lot of money, so why do you need to sell other people on this thing that you haven't really done your homework on and is shady? And yeah, do better.
You have a pretty brilliant montage that you show in the documentary, and I want us to go to it. You're seeing a level of celebrity that backs essentially blue chip companies. And the feeling that I got when I was watching those commercials in that moment is, oh, this is too big to fail. This is here.
Yeah.
Like, if Tom Brady, Shaquille O'Neal, Steph Curry, and Matt Damon are talking about Toyota, it's here to stay.
Right.
Like this thing as an idea, as an entity. How do you reconcile the feeling that people feel watching that and then how you felt watching it on the couch?
I think it's really important to understand what's happening. Why are celebrities hired to hawk products? Because people trust them. They have a relationship with them through the TV, through the movie screen. And so there's a trust that they have that they're then imputing into the thing that they're selling. And it's a very deliberate play by the cryptocurrency industry. Crypto is notorious. Bitcoin people are notorious for saying Bitcoin has no marketing department, right? Like there's no central person in charge of it, right? It's a decentralized ledger. But crypto is really just a story. It's just a story that you're going to make money on it, that whatever like ails you is going to be fixed by crypto if you invest in it.
What's their core story? You've said, quote, Bitcoin is a story that will last as long as people believe in it. So what's the story and what's their core pitch?
The story can be anything that anyone wants it to be. Like at the end, it's sort of a projection of the hopes and dreams of the investors, I would say. Sorry, there's two groups. There's the normal like investors, whether they have a ton of money or not, whether they're institutional or not, and then there's the criminals. Yeah. So cryptocurrency has incredible utility for criminals, and we can talk about that. But for the regular people that are buying it, I interviewed many of them for the doc for this particular scheme called Celsius, which ultimately went bankrupt, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. Regular people.
Yeah.
And so I posted on Reddit and met these guys. They were all guys, literally every single one of them.
Sure.
And you would ask them questions like, why'd you invest? And this one guy, just absolutely heartbreaking, a fellow Texan, I think he worked construction or something, like really like salt of the earth dude. And he had a bunch of money in it and he lost it. And he was saying all he wanted was to like be able to take more time off of work and spend more time with his daughter.
It was heartbreaking.
And it was like,
it was super heartbreaking.
I have kids, and you just like your heart breaks for them.
Mostly just a shot at freedom, a shot at a little bit more claiming of my time back, and that time I can't get with my daughter back. I just had so many plans,
I'm sorry.
I feel like I let her down big time.
The thing that's really hard, one of the things that's really hard about crypto is that there's only maybe like 5% of the population, 5 or 6% of the population that's like really into it. And then there's maybe another 10% that's like kind of playing around with it, like has ever bought it. So you're talking about like 1 in 6 Americans, but like really 1 in 20 that are like really into it. The thing is, you're never going to be able to convince them that it's not a good investment. I asked all of the victims of Celsius like the same question. Do you still believe in cryptocurrency? Some of these people have lost their life savings. Every single one of them said yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I didn't have to edit it. I mean, we did edit it for time, but like every single one said yes. And they would have different reasons. They would say, well, that one was a scam, but Bitcoin I believe in, which is a big sort of theme. But like, when I say it's a projection of their hopes and dreams, I really mean that. I really think that people are, and we should talk about like why people get into crypto and gambling and prediction markets. It's like we financialized everything and we're pushing it so hard at dudes, really specifically at young men.
There's two things that pull you in on the internet if you're a straight dude. Money shit or pervy shit. Now, let's not focus on the latter. Let's talk about the former.
Right.
And I think at the core of the money shit, yes, one component of it is greed, but there's this other component which comes from a very real place of, I have to have agency over my life.
Yeah.
And I am responsible for the circumstances in my life. And society may be cold to me. Nobody is going to come to save me.
Right.
I feel like the institutions that are in place, my employer, the government, the state, these institutions have failed me. There has to be a better way.
Totally.
And what spoke to me about cryptocurrency and got me to waste endless hours during the pandemic and not be with my loved ones was that idea.
Right.
That there has to be a better way.
Yes.
And I'm a fool if I don't take the agency to explore and to start to study this.
Yeah. The crypto story is really simple. It says the system as it exists now, the regulated financial system, our global financial system, sucks. It's like deeply unfair. It's hard to navigate. You don't have agency over your own life. And they say that statement, and you know, who agrees with that? Everyone.
Sure.
Literally everyone agrees with that, except for maybe some billionaires, right?
Right.
They'll have their different reasons as to why it sucks, but like they're gonna agree with the first part.
Yeah, everybody but 6 people.
Right. And then
agree
the
with that
second
statement.
thing is Bitcoin fixes this, which is literally like a meme at this point. Like it's one of the things people say. So it's a really simple argument. And I understand its appeal. I do, because I agree with the first one. The system sucks and we should hate the banks.
There's been so many different ways in which the big banks and the federal government have basically run amok and screwed over, not Wall Street, but Main Street.
Right.
But the caveat you give though is, and it's really interesting, I don't have the answer here, but you go, it's built on trust and it's backed by the government and we all trust the government. But how do you reconcile?
We don't then now though, right? That's
exactly.
I think one of the things that gave cryptocurrency so much currency is that there's such deep distrust of the government. And I think one maybe simpler way of looking at it is, it's not that I'm pro-government, it's that I'm pro-democracy working to actually, you know, effectuate change through our government. But the problems with our government are really based on the problems with our supposed democracy, where the will of the people isn't expressed. Like the Supreme Court is not expressing the majority's opinion on a whole host of issues because the Republicans rigged it. The Senate, because of the way the Constitution is set up, doesn't represent the majority of the population. The majority of senators don't represent the majority of the population. But the only way to really change that, in my opinion, is to strengthen the democracy so that it actually represents the will of the people.
So it sounds like the sell of Bitcoin fundamentally was an anti-government, anti-big bank position. So you got super into Bitcoin 2020. You and I, we were both super online and we got into Bitcoin. Then in 2022, we had crypto winter. Bitcoin went from $69,000 in 2021 to under $16,000 in 2022. Your book comes out in 2023. You go on the IToldYouSo.com book tour.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, happily.
SBF goes to prison. Head of Binance goes to prison. The whole thing was blowing up.
Yep.
Let's fucking go.
Yes.
Then in 2024, after Donald Trump was elected, Bitcoin shoots up to over 100K. What happened to make the price go up?
So remember the Robert Shiller thing, the naturally occurring Ponzi schemes? So because Bitcoin doesn't do anything in the sense that like it's not a currency that you can actually like I can't go to my neighbor's deli and buy a bagel with Bitcoin. They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Because you can't actually buy anything, it has to have some other utility, but mainly it's just a speculative instrument. It's just something people gamble on, betting the price is going to go up or down. So Trump embraced crypto. So Trump as recently as 2019 called Bitcoin a scam.
Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam.
My personal theory is that that's because it was cutting in on his core business. Trump is a real estate guy, and
Sure.
there's a lot of money laundering in real estate, and I think he was kind of jealous that crypto. He wasn't getting his cut.
Getting in on his action.
Yeah, he wasn't getting his cut. Yeah, I was getting on his action. And then in 2024, in the summer, he really embraced it fully. There were rumors before, but he spoke at the Bitcoin conference. I show a clip of it in the movie.
Have a good time with your Bitcoin and your crypto and everything else that you're playing with.
And he obviously doesn't know anything about it, but he knows he can figure out a way to make money off of this. And the price starts going up. It had been in the toilet, as you said, and it starts going up. And then it just surged. And so by the time he's in office, it's or somewhere around there, it's 120,000 or something like that.
How is Donald Trump and his family making money off of crypto? Because I've seen the $ Trump meme coin, but what else is there?
Sure, yeah. So there's the meme coins that he did and Melania did. Think of those as Ponzi schemes, effectively, right? You're going to try to release the coin, you own 99% of it or some huge percentage of it. If people put money into it, then the price goes up, and at a certain point you just sell all of it and you take whatever money you can get. So those are actually smaller schemes. The bigger scheme was this stable coin company. So stable coins are this crypto that's really important for people to understand. It's basically a cryptocurrency that it's pegged 1-to-1 with a real currency, like the US dollar. It's like a poker chip in the casino. It's like something you could gamble with. But it's also, if the president of the United States, the most powerful person in the world,
yes,
and you're selling the people on this product and they're buying it, why are they buying it? Well, one reason they're buying it is for access.
Correct.
So Trump threw a dinner with the top 25 investors in his coin or something, and they went to one of his country clubs and had a fancy dinner. So he's literally pay to play, paying for access to the most powerful man in the world. Well, it's not only that, but the stablecoin got a $500 million investment from this sheik in
Abu
Dhabi. And so what did the sheik get out of it? Well, they got AI chips. They got NVIDIA chips through this, circuitous deal with Trump and his family. And they got a pardon for the guy from Binance, actually. The guy that ran Binance, CZ, Changpeng Zhao, pled guilty to money laundering during the last administration and was done 4 months in prison, and Trump gave him a pardon. CZ's now in the UAE. So that's corruption. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's a crime.
Classic.
It should be a crime. I mean, it's so big that it's so hard to fathom because it just blows any other precedent out of the water.
It's so cartoonish.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think it's worth, for crypto people that are still out there believing in it, if you're putting money into something that Trump is backing because you think you're going to make money out of it, just know that he's a convicted fraudster. He's been convicted of 34 felonies in the state of New York by a jury. So, just bear that in mind.
Just be aware of that.
Be aware.
Okay. We've been talking big picture, but let's get specific. Let's do some crypto 101, shall we?
Love it.
All right. What is the white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, and why does it sound like a racist manual written by a Japanese dude?
That's a great question and a great way of phrasing it.
I mean, it's a wild thing to be read the white paper.
Yeah.
By Satoshi Nakamoto.
So a couple things about the white paper is the first where Bitcoin originated. It was a paper that was dropped on basically a chat group, a chat board in 2008, written by Satoshi Nakamoto. Who's Satoshi Nakamoto? We don't know. So much speculation, so many bad documentaries about, who is Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
Most likely the person that was Satoshi is dead, in my opinion, because there was 2 cryptographers that, not in any malicious, not in a way that's like a conspiracy theory. Okay. I'm just saying it's probably one of these 2 guys. But anyway, whoever it is, we don't know who made it. They had all these nice things that they said about how it was going to change everything, but very quickly, within 2 years, it really comes out in 2009. But 2 years later, it finds a use case through criminal activity on the Silk Road, the dark web drug marketplace that I mentioned.
Yeah.
So whatever the intentions of Satoshi, which could be a person, could be multiple people, we don't know. It was really quickly co-opted by criminals, including Jeffrey Epstein, which we could talk about if you want.
You drew this very helpful triangular shaped diagram to explain how cryptocurrency works. What's going on here?
Okay. So new investors are putting money into a scheme, but they're not the first, the ones on the bottom. there were people that got in before them, people that got in before them. And at the top, there's the promoter, the person that's like selling it. This is called a pyramid scheme, which is kind of different from a Ponzi scheme. It's more like a multi-level marketing scheme, right? Where like, I've heard crypto described as Mary Kay for men. It's like a way of, that joke will kill.
Yeah, Avon for dudes.
That are like 50 years old, but probably not people that are younger who don't know what Mary Kay is. But anyway, somebody's selling you on this thing. They own an enormous amount of it. They basically say, they deputize all these other people and say, hey, if you help me sell this, you'll get a cut of it. Then they sell it. Then those people sell it. And so it funnels out in a sort of in a pyramidal shape. Celsius, the Ponzi scheme type thing that I document in the documentary is a form of a multi-level marketing scheme, I would say. So what they're really relying on is like every individual person seeing the people before them, the smaller group of people having made money on the thing, and then thinking they can make money on it. And, that can work for a while, but MLMs, multi-level marketing schemes, ultimately usually fail. Although some of them don't. Some of them have gone on for a long time.
Isn't this how every company kind of works too as well?
No.
It looks like the promoter at the top looks like the CEO. Those look like employees. Like, isn't this the way money funnels up in every corporation anyways?
Yeah,
or, Planet Fitness or gym memberships.
Right. Well, but you're getting something out
knives.
of it. Yeah, you're getting something out of it, right? In a regular company like Apple, they're selling you products that you're buying that actually work, that are good. But like, it's all predicated on not so much the product, but the selling of the product. So, one person, the top is your upstream, and the bottom is your downstream. You're making the people that get into it make money on the people they recruit to buy it.
Why is crypto used so much for crime and money laundering?
Because of the pseudonymity of the blockchain. Because you can't tell who is sending what where, and you're avoiding banks.
Right.
It's really, really helpful for criminals. The next time you see an article about cryptocurrency, try this exercise. Exchange the word crypto for money laundering, and just see if the article makes sense the same way. Because I would say money laundering is probably at the top of its sort of use cases. Crypto is really only good for gambling and crime. The gambling is just betting the price is going to go up or down. That's a zero-sum game, much like playing poker at a casino, except you're playing at an unregulated casino. So, you might win and then go to the teller to get the money, and you don't get the money because they've shut it. But for the crime, it's good for money laundering, sanctions evasion, tax evasion, child and human trafficking. Jeffrey Epstein was a big fan of Bitcoin and invested early on in Bitcoin.
What is Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Bitcoin?
Absolutely. So just did a video on this. So Epstein apparently heard about Bitcoin really early on in 2011 through this guy called Brock Pierce, it seems like. Brock is like a character that is in the book and got cut from the movie. Sorry, Brock. But great character. He hears about it super early.
Give me the year, like
2011. So only 2 years after it came into existence.
Yeah.
So the number of people that were aware of Bitcoin at that point had to be tiny, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe a few million. Jeffrey Epstein was into Bitcoin before 90% of the people who are now supporters of it even knew it existed. I will stand by that fact like forever. So you just have to kind of like accept that. Not only did he find it, he said the idea is brilliant. Not only that, he actively like supported the industry. So at one point in 2015, there's this group of developers that maintain Bitcoin's operating system. It's called Bitcoin Core Development. And there are people behind Bitcoin. Like, that's one of the myths, that like there isn't anyone. No, it's software. People have to make sure it works. So there's this group of programmers. There's this division within Bitcoin. There's factions arguing with each other. And these guys weren't getting paid. So Epstein funded the developers, the people running the operating system, secretly through the MIT Media Lab, which is its own amazing story of criminal activity, effectively.
The MIT Media Lab?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. There's a big article on this in 2019 in the New Yorker, and then with the most recent emails, we have confirmation that, yes, Epstein paid secretly for these. He was, by the way, in 2008, he had pled guilty to solicitation of an underage person.
Yes.
So he was a registered sex offender.
Correct.
Right? Before he ever heard about Bitcoin, before he made these investments, they knew he was a sex offender, obviously. And then he also did other things. He invested in Coinbase. He put $3 million into Coinbase. It appears that executives knew that the money was coming from Epstein. Because Brock asks Epstein, is it okay if I tell him, who you are? He invested in this other company. So why? Why would Jeffrey Epstein be into crypto?
Well, what's your theory?
Well, if your core businesses are money laundering and human sex trafficking, dark money that's hard to trace would be pretty handy. And the crypto advocates want to say, they'll use this argument well, people use dollars for crime. Yeah. So let's make the crypto follow the same rule as the US dollar then. Let's regulate these crypto exchanges as banks and see if they can pass muster.
Right.
They can't, and they don't want to. They would be terrified of that because they can't do it. The way that so our banking system has rules. The two most important ones are KYC and AML, know your customer, and anti-money laundering. The banks, when you get an account, you have to fill out all this paperwork, and they really need to know who it is that they're loaning the money to or facilitating opening the account for. Criminals don't like that, right? They don't really want to put their name and their address and all their personal information on this database that the government is going to have some. So the advocates will say, yeah, it's about, freedom and censorship resistance. And I'm like, it's a lot of criminal activity.
How is Bitcoin both a fake asset that has no fundamental value, but it's also an evil asset that Al-Qaeda and evil terror or drug organizations use to get paid? So does it have an inherent value or not?
Yeah, its value is crime. Yeah, the value is sort of speculation, I guess you could say, but you can gamble on anything.
But isn't that a use case? That,
it is.
Hey, send me the...
It is, and we have to ask ourselves as a society, is that what we want? Do we want... I know the regulated system sucks. I get it, and we can talk about ways to fix that, and I'm all for it. But if 90% of the so there's a gambling element, which is just retail traders buying and selling it.
Yes.
Not necessarily the worst thing in the world, although maybe it should be marketed more explicitly as gambling and not push dudes all the frickin' time. You watch sports these days, and now it's not crypto companies as much, and
now it's gambling.
It's all
sports
gambling and prediction markets, which are a similar thing. But we should ask if outside of the gambling, it's 90% crime and 10% positive social purpose, and that 10% might be generous. Should it exist? Is this a good thing for the world?
What are NFTs, and what's the dumbest one you've seen?
Oh man, I don't know. The dumbest one?
That seems up there was Bored Ape. That was pretty...
Bored Ape was the dumbest in the sense that it was that was what people hated the most for, right? It was one of the most. Mm-hmm. And they had these hilarious videos of they tried to throw concerts and stuff. So an NFT is basically nothing. It's a
non-fungible token.
Yeah, but what does that get lost in the nothing? It's a link to a receipt for a JPEG. It's oh, hey, because how do you
It's got to be more. It's got to be more than that. Really?
Promise you. That's why. What are they worth now? Nothing.
I don't want to look into it.
Literally nothing. I don't know.
But it for real is just a link to a receipt
for a JPEG. I mean, I'm exaggerating it could be a link to a receipt for anything. But how do you create scarcity in a world of digital assets?
Uh-huh.
You kind of can't. I mean, to some degree, someone bought an NFT, I'll just click screen share that and just post that on my account instead. You know what I mean? And maybe they could sue me, I guess, possibly. Right. But
but isn't a legitimate Ticketmaster.com ticket? That's a non-fungible token, right? You have to transfer it. If you're doing it legit, right. You have to transfer it from person to person. It has and retains its value.
Well,
right?
it's an actual thing because you're going to see a concert. You're getting something out of it. Whereas an NFT is you're buying shitty art, I guess, for a lot of money, really shitty art. I mean, I would say Bored Apes is pretty bad. There was a celebrity one. Reese Witherspoon did Women of NFTs, and I was it was a similar feeling of Reese, don't. Why?
Oh man.
And I know that I know they were just told by their reps is an easy way to make money, but you do have a responsibility because who are you ripping off? You're ripping off your fans, man.
Well, let me push back.
Do it.
Because I'm a Reese Witherspoon stan.
Love her.
I fuck with Reese.
Sweet home.
Well, let me ask you this. Ben McKenzie, why all this pearl clutching about cryptocurrency being a speculative asset that is extremely volatile, that's unregulated? Why don't you keep that same energy for DraftKings, Prize Picks, all sorts of sports gambling that's gone amok, that's now legal, sub parlays within quarters.
Yep.
Why don't you share that same anger and vitriol and concern with that?
Hasan, I'm one man. I'm one former teen idol, like putting up my hand saying, this is bullshit. This is stupid. What do you think? I just like have all the time in the world. I'm going to go off
I need you to signal chat Freddie Prinze Jr. and you guys need to get after it. But what's the difference? Why? What I'm trying to.
I'm equally. Asking, no, sorry.
What I'm basically saying is like, this is happening in many different domains. Totally. So why the anger here?
I would say they're very similar in many ways, but the difference with crypto is you can commit crimes. Like you can get paid for your criminal activity via crypto in a way that you can't do because of sports gambling. Mm-hmm. But they do all share a similar trait, which is that, you know, at best these are zero-sum games. At best you're like playing poker, you know, via a website. But you know, and could you win in Vegas? Sure, but if you play long enough, you're losing. Because how else do they keep the lights on in the casino, right? And by the way, as the game's going around, the house is taking the rake. There's a little bit of money to play the game. Crypto's like Vegas without the drinks, the dinner, or the show, and it's unregulated or underregulated, so you're not even playing a fair game. With these gambling things, I just wish they weren't. I wish there should be laws about the marketing of it. Like it shouldn't just be allowed to be every single. The leagues are now in on it, right? Now they have official gambling apps, and like gambling is bad. This is one thing that I've changed my mind.
This is the Ben McKenzie hot take.
Well, I was much more like,
no, I'm in agreement. I
played poker when I was in my 20s. I loved it with my, but I didn't play online with Dave, but I was like, you know, I had a literal poker table in my house. I loved it. It was fun. It had a social value too, right?
Okay.
Just a few beers, like, you know, talk some shit and gamble.
So you're on the OC and you have this kind of gambling den at your apartment.
Yeah.
Sick.
And it was fun. I mean, in your 20s in LA, like what could be better? But, you know, I did a bunch of research on gambling and interviewed a bunch of people, and you know, crypto addiction is gambling addiction, and it's kind of like gambling on steroids because you can bet literally at any point, right? The markets are open 24/7. You just have to have access through your phone. It's marketed to dudes as a way of making money, and young guys are particularly susceptible to it. And it can ruin not just their lives, but the lives of their families too. I mean, that you can gamble. Like the stats on gambling are insane. I don't remember them, but it's an enormous amount of the money that the gambling industry makes, the online and others, is made from a very small percentage of people who are, you know, in crypto, they're called degens, degenerate gamblers. But like those people losing so much money and hiding it from their families often because of the shame, it can destroy entire families. In the book, I interviewed this guy who's the son of the father of a pastor who got sucked into a crypto scam and just kept doubling down and doubling down and doubling down because he was probably too deep in. And he ended up taking his own life. And, you know, at a minimum, the gambling and the prediction markets need a lot of rules that they don't have.
Do you think there's any amount of evidence that you're talking about? You've made two very compelling points. You're like, look, Donald Trump is a convicted criminal, outright fraudster. That's a data point.
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein, we've clearly seen through the Epstein files, obviously was using cryptocurrency and money for money laundering and sex trafficking. Do you think there's anything in these huge cases that perhaps gets people to go, all right, I'm opting out? This is too shady.
I don't know. I mean, my mission at this point is to inform the 80+% of the country that hasn't invested in crypto.
Okay.
As best I can, and arm them with facts so that when people come at them, which they inevitably do, everyone has had someone, usually a dude, try to convince you of buying crypto. They have the facts so they're not sucked into it. I would love to convince people who are already into it that they should rethink their positions, but my experience has been that that is often not successful if they're really hardcore. There's a bunch of people who don't really care about it, who are just kind of like gambling on it, and I think will accept some of these points, many of these points. But my mission is not to try to preach to the faithful. It's a little bit like the hardcore. It's a little like a cult. You know what I mean? And there's a great paper, sociological paper called When Prophecy Fails. I think it's from like the 50s. And it's like, what happens to cults when the thing that they predicted would happen doesn't happen, right? The world's going to end in 2020 and it doesn't. Do they like abandon the cult leader and renounce their faith? No, they believe more.
Oh, they double down.
They double down. And that's what I experienced while interviewing the victims of Celsius is like, do you still believe in cryptocurrency? They all said yes. The more you invested and lost, the more you believe.
In the documentary in 2022, you go to the Bitcoin conference, you head to Miami.
Right.
If you've been to reddit.com/r/Wall Street Bets,
Yeah.
poppin'.
How
big is this community? Is it a real community? Give me a sense of scale.
I mean, I hate to be so negative here, but like, I think you have to be very suspicious of communities that only exist online, right? I mean, I think that they do have these shows that they come together for the conventions. They're kind of like trade shows. Like everyone's got their company booth and they're like trying to sell you on this or that and the other. And
Right.
there is it's a trade show. So like guys are just getting fucked up and, partying and like, it's that kind of a thing. So there is like some sense of community to some degree, but essentially they all just want to make money off of the enterprise. So online, the ability to lie is just, it's so easy.
Right. You're not using your real name.
Right. Most of these accounts don't use their real name. They're terrified of being doxxed, which is hilarious because like if you're offering people financial advice, like I'm pretty sure we should know who the fuck you are.
Sure.
But
God damn, Ben McKenzie out here just saying
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just dropping.
You really are going hard at people with just Twitter fingers. You're basically saying, I need you to be outside.
Don't even start on the NFTs. No, I mean, you asked earlier, like, do I feel sympathy? And I do. It's easier to feel sympathy with people you meet in real life. Like, I know it's a cliche at this point, but the internet really is not real life. Like, I can't express how strongly I feel about that with my crypto stuff. I've had so few really negative conversations in person with people, like even interviews that were like, somewhat hostile, yeah, with Sam Bankman-Fried. Like we didn't yell and scream at each other.
So in the documentary, can we talk about that?
Please.
You were able to score an interview with Sam Bankman-Fried, but he knew you were doing a documentary that's skeptical of cryptocurrency.
Yes.
What?
We had sold the book and it said it was about crypto and fraud. It was like in our Twitter byline.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, sure, I want to be interviewed.
So he does an interview with you for an hour alone with you.
Yeah.
Why?
So I couldn't figure that out.
He's a fan of the OC.
That's probably it. Probably more of a Seth guy than a Ryan guy, but do what you can.
Okay.
I know his assistant was a big fan of the OC. I talk about that in the book. It was like, he only had one handler. He's like this supposed billionaire with only like one person, which is very weird. Young woman, very nice. And the first thing she said to me when I met her, like before I even met Sam, was like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of the OC. And I was like, yes, this is all going to work out perfectly. So I
think that was your secret superpower in the documentary and in the book.
Totally.
People hold you small.
It's such an advantage to be underestimated.
Series regular on a Fox sitcom from 2003 is your
sitcom. It's not a sitcom.
Sorry. 1 hour drama.
It was a scripted drama.
Scripted 1 hour drama.
Not at all a soap opera.
Capital D drama.
Capital D drama.
Prestige drama.
Yeah. I mean, to be underestimated, to be thought of as like some lightweight is such a gift. It's such a gift. So I didn't know why Sam
I want to give you your flowers. Nominated for 6 Teen Choice Awards.
I never won. I am the Susan Lucci of the Teen Choice Awards.
I'm sorry.
I'm the Susan Lucci of the Teen Choice Awards.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're that.
Oh, you're just sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you couldn't understand what I meant. You're no, you're just sorry?
Yeah, well, for both. The fact that you didn't win, and then also, I don't know who Susan Lucci is.
Kolkata Chai has brand new tea bags. It is so easy, I literally don't have to think about it. Hot water, tea bag, mug. Dunzo. Okay, but what do I think about now? But real talk, what is a microwave actually? It hums, it dings, it spins, but what is making the food hot? Hello! Screw you, countertop Chernobyl. Hard pass. Okay, just enjoy this moment for 1 second without, ooh, hello fridge. Oh, my chilly little frenemy. I tolerate you, but I do not trust you. Do you remove heat or do you add cold? Ew. I'm getting cold just thinking about it. You know, I should make some chai to warm up. Stupid Hasan, you're already making chai, but I forgot about it because these tea bags are literally doing all the work. Wait, is it a tea bag or a chai bag or a chai tea? Nope, no, not going there. Just add hot water, milk, and sweetener of your choice. Honestly, it's the best chai in the game. I should go tell someone.
So SBF. You scored this interview.
So in the film, I interview this expert on fraud. Yeah, he wrote a great book, Lying for Money. And he talks about the psychology of fraudsters, which I find fascinating, which is fraudsters are not like other criminals. Like, they're not deviant members of society that commit violent crimes, usually. They think of themselves as legitimate businessmen. They have to, because to acknowledge to themselves that they're actually running a fraud, like, most people aren't actual sociopaths who are like okay with that. So instead they rationalize and justify their behavior. And Sam's a great example. Sam still, while in prison, having been convicted of all the crimes he was charged with in like 4 hours by a jury, still thinks he's innocent. I guarantee you, he thinks he's still posting about it on Twitter. He's like, we weren't actually insolvent. You're like, well, we were. They have to believe in that.
Did you feel that when you were with him? You were like, this guy's an absolute fraud.
I felt he could not answer any of my questions satisfactorily. Like, I had listened to interviews. I'd done my preparation. I knew kind of, effectively what he was going to say or the arguments he was going to make. Yeah. I had answers for all of them. And some of these questions are very simple. What does crypto do? Give me one thing that it does.
And what did he say?
He said remittances. He said it could be used to send money overseas. I had just come from El Salvador, which the economy is built off remittances. 25% of the GDP is people of Salvadoran descent sending money home. So if it were to work, they illegalized Bitcoin, made it a form of legal tender. If it was going to work, people could have used the government system instead of
as a way to transfer
MoneyGram or whatever, and
sure.
save the fee. Mm-hmm. Nobody used it. Less than 2%. It's now less than 1%. Like, effectively, nobody used it because they don't have money to gamble with. They're getting $300 or $400 a month in cash. If they lose the money, they'd rather pay the percent and actually get the money to the person that they love. So the argument was bullshit. I just come from it. The only country in the world trying to use Bitcoin as money, the country built on remittances, and it didn't work. And I said, bullshit. And he didn't have a response to that, really.
What ended up making the documentary? What was an interesting thing that did not make the documentary? Because it's a small part of the doc.
Yeah, totally.
You got to sit down with SPF for an hour.
Yeah. There's some funny bits in him. There's a one point where I think we sort of captured it on the doc, but like, I bought that mug off Etsy. It's like Fraud Investigator.
Yeah.
And totally to fuck with him. And super proud of that purchase. That's like $12 I ever spent. And he sits down with me, like, signs the paperwork to appear. And we're in a Midtown hotel room that I rented out for it. And there's a loud noise out in the hallway. And so I go out to deal with that. And he's just like, it's like a quadruple take, I think. It's like at least a triple, where he like sees the mug and is like, I can't, like, what have I signed up for?
Right.
What's fascinating is he then proceeded to talk to me for a whole hour.
Yes.
Like, he wasn't like, I could actually just leave right now.
Do you think he believed he was a true evangelist? Meaning,
yes,
he's sitting there in his swim trunks looking like he was electrocuted. And he goes, I can convince Ben McKenzie to actually understand what Bitcoin
my
is.
guess is
what FTX is.
My guess is he felt he had nothing to hide. I mean, this guy was on top of the world. He was on the cover of magazines. The reporter that was in there before I showed up, who I don't know if they were paying for the space, but I was. But anyway, the guy there was doing the profile on Sam that would lead to a cover on Fortune magazine. The next Warren Buffett? ? Sam was on top of the world. Crypto is crashing, but he was going to bail it out. He was called the JP Morgan of crypto. He was going to like bail out all the failing crypto companies and like own the entire thing. He was supposedly one of the 100 richest people in the world. He's like 29 years old, 30 years old.
Did you feel in that moment, as Ben McKenzie, were you like, am I the idiot?
No.
You see him getting all that positive press coverage.
Right.
He's friends with some of the most esteemed members of the Democratic Party, all these celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel you're like, maybe I don't get it?
I mean, I definitely felt that at some points, or I'm constantly checking myself, am I describing this correctly? Am I giving enough credit to the other side? Am I sort of being, I really do try to like be as honest as I can with myself.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, given my experience and how it's been affirmed countless times at this point that this thing is bad, I don't pull any punches, because like the only way I'm going to fight this supposedly $1 trillion industry is by getting to people like through your podcast or whatever, is like getting to the regular people. So I have to be pretty outspoken and blunt when I can. But when I sat in the room with Sam, there was no moment of, I'm the fool. It was the title of the chapter that has a Sam interview is the emperor is butt ass naked. I was the kid looking at this naked emperor going, he doesn't have any clothes on. What's going on here?
I mean, did he do the interview barefoot?
No, he had his sneakers on.
Oh, okay. He did a lot of barefoot
He was the
interviews.
cargo shorts, t-shirt. Yeah, like electrocuted hair. Yeah. He
Okay.
was-
Did you believe in the interview that he was going to go to prison?
No, I couldn't quite understand. I couldn't. Yes, that's one way he kind of got over me. I gave him more credit than in retrospect I should have, because I assumed, so Sam owned an exchange and a trading company.
Right.
And which would never be allowed in a regulated market, because like you're trading on your own exchange. They're literally like in the same office in the Bahamas. Like his ex-girlfriend runs the trading company. So I figured he was making a ton of money, because if you're trading on your own exchange, you don't have to be that good a trader to make a ton of money. But what actually happened, it came out in court cases, they were terrible at trading. They had lost so much money. It was called Alameda Research.
Mm-hmm.
They lost so much money that they had to steal the money from their customers in order to bail themselves out.
Do you think that the dream of Bitcoin will ever be possible? Meaning a trusted peer-to-peer digital ledger that's on the blockchain, almost like Wikipedia for money. Hey, we see every transaction that's going in and out, and this is the new future of the way people get money and send people money. And it becomes an actual currency that people use.
In that way, no. I mean, it can't work that way. Bitcoin can only do 5 to 7 transactions a second. So Sam admitted this when I interviewed him. I said, how is this going to work? Visa can do 24,000. You can't do a global monetary system on 5 to 7 transactions a second. And he was like, yeah, that's a problem. We'll fix it. But, it's not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be, and he referred me to another coin that he owned a lot of, trying to sell me on that.
Uh-huh. He whispered that to you? He's like,
he wasn't whispering. He told you? He was telling me. No,
on a road mic.
Solana. Okay. I was supposed to buy Solana, which has the unfortunate, Solana's a coin that...
I had a lot of homies that went on Solana.
Yeah. It has the unfortunate characteristic of shutting down because it just sometimes doesn't work at all, which, if you're using a global monetary system, probably not the best thing.
Not great. Yeah. How do you wrap your head around the idea that you're looking at all the big banks are now having crypto divisions? JP Morgan, Blackstone, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley. I mean, clearly they have huge buildings here in New York City. They're doing big money stuff.
Yeah.
Explain that to me. Clearly, they wouldn't just throw their money away. I mean, these big private equity firms, they're getting into the Blackstones, the BlackRocks, they're getting into the housing market, nursing homes, real homes. They clearly wouldn't get into fake money.
Right. Not if they can make money on it. The democratized, decentralized future of money brought to you by BlackRock. Wall Street is really good at making money by facilitating trades without taking a position one way or the other. So the ETFs are a perfect example. The biggest one is issued by BlackRock. You buy the share of the thing called the BlackRock ETF or whatever. They go to Coinbase and they say, hey, we got this amount of money, this many shares, give us the Bitcoin. They actually hold the Bitcoin, I believe. And then when people sell the shares, then they sell the Bitcoin. So BlackRock is making, and it's taking a percentage, it's taking a fee on that, facilitating that transaction. Yeah. The fee might be really small. It might be 0.25% or something, but it's on billions of dollars. So, they're making a fortune. And all they're doing is helping you trade. I don't give a shit if the price goes up or down. I mean, they like the price to keep going because that would make more people do it. But at the end of the day, they're not holding the bag. You are. And, good luck. At some point, it's just so hard to point to exchanges that haven't collapsed. So, I don't wish this on the future, but it's just, if history is any precedent, the exchanges will at some point shut down effectively because there aren't enough buyers when the price crashes.
Well, listen, man, I encourage everybody to read the book. It's very funny. Watch the movie. He's very funny in it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben McKenzie, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Hasan.
Sorry right away, no